As a tailor, you'll find out that you have a lot of tiny pieces lying around your shop. Instead of throwing it away, why not create beautiful designs with it? You can see I am here joining pieces of fabric together. Now, this is what I did. I went ahead to cut these tiny pieces in a squared form, join them together, weaved it, and then after that, I went ahead to start joining them like this, okay, to make it into yardage. I don't know if you understand me. And I then went ahead to use it to make this beautiful design you can see on the screen right now. So this was my inspiration, and what you saw earlier on the screen was what I achieved. This particular neckline, I love it so much, and I've decided to show you guys how to make it. Okay, so I made a beautiful kaftan dress with this Ankara patch design. So guys, I had to show you guys when I was joining this because the neatness of this would even make you imagine if I joined them together. But yes, I joined it. I took out my time to make it very neat. You can see I weaved all the rough edges before trying to use it to cut. So do yours like that. Now we are going to get started. If you are interested in learning how I made this beautiful kaftan short dress, you can see that the inspiration is actually long, but my pieces wasn't enough. So if you are making use of full Ankara prints, you can make it into a long gown. Okay, so guys, I will go ahead and fold my fabric into 4 folds. First of all is to fold into 2, and then after that you make it into 4 folds. So you can see what I am showing you. We are going to cut out both the front and the back together, and here is my shoulder points. So I'm going to place my tape on this shoulder point and mark down the bust points 10 inches. After that, I'm going to mark down to the waistline 17 inches, and then after that I'm going to mark down to the hip points 26 inches. Now after that, I'm going to mark the length of my gown, and I'm going to be making use of 38 inches for both the length and the hemming allowance. Okay, now if you want to make this gown into a long one, do make sure that you have enough fabric for the length that you desire. Now, since we are done marking out the vertical points, we are going to draw the lines across, just as you can see me doing like this. And you guys, please note that this is a patchwork. You might not be able to see the chalk I am marking out clearly, only if you glue your eye to the screen, because the fabrics are too colorful. All right, now once we are done marking out these lines across, we'll move over to the shoulder point again. So we are going to be placing the neck width of the front and the back, and the neck depth of the front and the back at once. Okay, so I'll place my tape on the folded part of my shoulder and mark in 4 inches. This 4 inches is not standard. You can switch your neck width and the neck depth, okay, whatever it is that you want, but I make use of 4 inches because this is not going to come with a zipper. Now for the neck depth of the back, I made use of 1 inch and connected it to the neck width. Now for the neck depth of the front, I made use of 8 inches and then equally came in by 1 inch right on that point, as you can see me doing like this. And after that, I'm going to connect it into the neck width, as you can see me doing like this. All right, now from here I'm going to mark my shoulder length. Okay, so for the shoulder length, I'll be making use of 15 inches. I went ahead to mark this out, and now from this point I'm going to mark my armhole opening. Okay, so this is where my hand is going to come out from. So after marking it, I will go ahead and connect the points together. So what I used right there was 11 inches from the shoulder. Okay, now from here I'm going to move over to the bust points line, and I'll be dividing my bust circumference by 4. Whatever it is I have, I'm going to mark it down, and I'll be adding 2.5 inches for my ease allowance and my sewing allowance. So my sewing allowance is going to be 1 inch and my ease allowance is 1.5 inches. Now I'll move over to the waistline and divide my waist circumference by 4. whatever I have, I marked it down and added 2.5 inches for my ease allowance and sewing allowance and connected it to the bust points. Now after that, I'll move over to the hip. I'll divide my hip circumference by 4, mark it down, and I'll be adding 2.5 inches for my ease allowance and my sewing allowance. And then after that, I will add extra 2 inches, okay, because I want the hip area to protrude more than the other places. I hope you understand. So right on the hip, what I added was 4.5 inches. I hope you understand. So whatever it is I have on the hip, I'm going to take it down to the length and connect all the points together. Now, if you're connecting from the hip to the waistline, you will notice that there is a lot of sharp curve around that place, okay? So all you have to do right there is to get your curve ruler and blend it up properly so that you eliminate any kind of sharp curve. I hope you understand, and that is exactly what I am trying to do right here. So after that, ensure that your lines are properly curved, okay? So now that we are done with that, I'm going to move over to the bust point, okay? And I'll be going down by 2 inches. Now after this, I'll connect it to the armhole depth, as you can see me trying to do. Now after this, I'll be adding up 2 inches for my sleeve folding allowance, okay? The hem of my sleeve, I need to hem it. I don't know if you understand. I need to fold it. So I added 2 inches for that and connected it properly, as you can see me doing like this. So you guys, we are done with drafting out both the front and the back. So we are going to go ahead and cut it out. Now to cut this out, I'll be cutting from the sleeve, and then I will enter through to the side and down to the hemline. At this point, please, if you find this tutorial helpful, kindly share it so that more people can get to see it. And if you are not yet following us or subscribed to our channel, please hit on the subscribe button. Invite your friends to also watch this video. It might be helpful to someone. Now you can see we are done cutting out our shapes. So we are going to cut out the neckline. I'll be starting with the back neckline, and then after cutting this out, we are going to open it up because you can't cut out the front neckline with both the front and the back together, okay? So this is what I'm going to do. I will ensure that I arrange it properly with the neckline aligning with each other. Can you see? Now after arranging it, I'll go ahead and cut out my front neck, okay? So to cut out the front neck depth, I actually went down by 1 inch extra. So you know, initially I did 8 inches downward, but now I made use of 9 inches because I felt like the first one was too up, okay? Now after this, the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and weave the rough edges. I'm going to weave the sleeve and the side seam. So you guys, I am done weaving it. Next, I'm going to go ahead and fold the sleeve, okay? After folding the sleeve, I will equally join the side seam and then hem the down part of my gown. So I'll move ahead and do this on my sewing machine. Remember to join the side seam. I'm going to be using 1 inch, and you guys, I will equally join my pockets. I have a detailed tutorial on how to sew in a pocket on any of your gown, even how to draft it. I have a detailed tutorial on how to do that. So we are not going to make this video too long by showing you how to do that because it is very easy. So guys, as you can see, I am done doing that, and this is what I have. You can see here is my pocket, my 2 pockets. I have joined it. I've equally hemmed the sleeve and hemmed the down part. Now it is time for us to fix in our scrubbed collar right at the neckline. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and notch the center of my neckline and equally notch the center of the back neckline. Can you see? And then after that, I'm going to bring in my tape and I will measure. So now I'm going to measure from these points, okay? And I'm going to stop right at the center of the back neckline. All right, it's not like I cannot measure everything, but there is no need. So whatever it is I have, I'm going to times it by 2. So right here I have 16 inches. This means that 16 times 2, I'll be having 32 inches, right? So I'll be cutting out this my fabric, which I have already done off camera. I'll cut out 36 inches in length. For me, I actually cut out extra. Now the length of this fabric is 2.5 inches, which is the height. Sorry, the height is 2.5 inches, and the length I made use of about 36 inches because I want to have extra. Okay, now I have fused in my interface. This is hairstay, black hairstay, cotton hairstay. I fused it into the wrong part of this my piece, and opening it up, you can see I have 5 inches right there. All right, so what I'm going to do now is bring in my gown, and I'm going to equally fold this into 2 and notch the center. Can you see what I'm doing? After notching the center, you know that we have notched the center of the back neckline. So I'm going to align these 2 properly and use my pin to hold it in place. Now I'm going to start to pin it up all around my neckline. So I'll pin one side to come out to the front of my neckline, and I'll equally go back and pin up the other side to equally come out to the front of my neckline. I don't know if you understand what I'm explaining, but as you watch, I'm very sure you're going to understand everything I am trying to explain. Okay, so guys, as you can see, I am done pinning up one side, and you can see where I stopped. Okay, so what I'm going to do is equally repeat the same thing to the other side. Right now I'm showing you where I'm going to stitch, so my stitching is going to stop right on this point that I'm showing you. Okay, now after that I will repeat the same thing to the other side, but I felt there is no need pinning it. You already understood what I just explained. Okay, now I will go ahead and stitch this using 1/2 inch on my sewing machine. Now if you're getting towards the front neck depth, you're going to make sure that your stitches stop 1/2 inch after the depth of your neckline. As you can see, you see what I have right there. So guys, right on this part, I'm going to place a notch which is going to go diagonally, but please, the notch that you're going to be placing should not exceed where you stitched. Okay, so you can see I'm trying to make my notch, and after making this notch, I'm going to push the V neckline inside. Can you see? Okay, so this is a scrubbed neckline. I'm going to push it inward with the 2 neckline overlapping with each other. Can you see what I am doing? And then I'm going to tuck in the allowance that came out after the notches, and I'm going to stitch it up like this. Can you see? So guys, I am done stitching it up, and this is what we have. You can see how neatly finished this is looking. This is what the inside looks like. So guys, here is the end of this tutorial. If you enjoy this tutorial and find it helpful, please do well to give it a thumbs up. I will see you guys in my next one, and please do not forget to subscribe to my channel or follow us if you haven't done so. Bye for now.